Welcome back. You're watching Startup Street. Now, startup investment platform WeFounderCircle is bullish about the business of building off distribution models. This is what they said on the sidelines of the Web Summit Qatar, where the co-founder of WeFounderCircle, Bhavna Bhatnagar, said investors are looking for more such businesses and added that deep tech is going to be the huge focus for them for this year.
You know, 1.5 years ago, it was all Gen AI, and now it's going to be agentic. So what's going to be better, right? I have been particularly looking at emerging technologies because, again, I believe that it's one of the underfunded areas in Indian ecosystem. So deep tech startups, right? Disaster management, climate tech, space tech, or even B2B SaaS. I think we understand, but yeah, what could be better, what could be different? I think those are the things that we are looking at. What I want to see, and I think soon after DeepSeek, a lot of Indian entrepreneurs also launch their own initiatives. They want to build their AI labs. They want to build original models out there in India, knowing that the cost is not as big or huge as it was touted to be earlier.
That's what DeepSeek, I think, proved to everybody out here, right?
Exactly. So I think I'm excited for, what Indian entrepreneurs are going to do in India now, knowing that, there are cheaper options available, there are cheaper ways of doing things. Besides that, I think with agentic AI, we're looking at consumers facing AI more as opposed to humans. So I think AI training humans is going to be something very interesting. And I think there would be increase in productivity leaps and bounds. So I think that's again something that we're looking at, what solutions or what industries would be disrupted first.
How do you see the IPO market for 2025? Considering the markets have corrected so much, do you think it'll be as good as the previous year?
I believe so. Honestly, last year was all about SME IPO and secondaries. I think I see similar trends, sort of, but a little bit more in numbers. So I think more IPOs this year. I am not sure about the SME IPO this time, if the numbers would be the same or more. But definitely, I think the main board IPOs, I feel, could be more in number.
If you could sort of give us, the Bharat opportunity in India, how big is this opportunity?
You need not be in tier 1 cities or the big 4 cities or 5 cities to build anything of value and to have a great exit, right? So tier 2, tier 3 cities have been catching up over a period of time. The only caveat used to be that eventually for raising money, all of those founders would have to move to tier 1 cities. Now I see that may not be necessary, After all, I think we have seen the investor ecosystem also develop in tier 2, tier 3 towns.
If you could take us through, the big opportunities, what are the sectors that you're seeing most of the innovation come out of?
So since last year, we've seen a trend towards businesses, and I mean, as investors also, we're very bullish on businesses that are building off of distribution models, right? So we want people who can build distribution in tier 2, tier 3, and then they can launch their businesses there. For example, I think there's so many startups working on bringing luxury products or certain type of consumer goods to tier 2, tier 3 cities through building distribution channels that, sort of never existed for them. So I think any business that is bullish on building a new distribution model, I think we're very, very excited about that. And I think in general, I think these are the businesses that would sort of be winning over time. Besides that, like I said, so many solutions in AI, wherever there is a nascent industry where the data hasn't really been captured. I think those are the industries, again, that are always of interest. Plus emerging technology, like I think semiconductors, space tech, I think all of these industries have biotech, life sciences, right? I mean, we've seen incredible ideas like people working on diagnostics or people working on detection of cancer, etc. I think all of these things they have a huge potential in India. And I'm happy that so many people now are working on it and thinking that these are the startups that can actually get funding and can get scale in India.
And healthcare is a highly underserved, sort of a scope in India, right? So do you see AI playing a big role in boosting healthcare for the country?
Oh, for sure. I think healthcare, in fact, even when I spoke to investors here globally, so they look at India as a market that, of course, has scope for healthcare. However, there are some, I would say, original innovations that still sort of do not happen in India, but they can definitely be scaled in India, right?
How much money are you looking to invest in this year?
So we typically invest in 3 to 4 startups every month, which means that we
So what were the startups for this month?
Yeah, so I mean, this month we've actually done a couple of up rounds for our existing portfolio
Right.
because, I mean, we are super bullish about, like I said, the liquidity markets, right?
Uh-huh.
I know that a lot of founders want to, do their secondaries, they want to generate more cash through IPO. The idea is that we're super bullish about, again, the up rounds or the future rounds of our companies this time. And plus, yeah, we are actually looking at B2B SaaS, we are looking at clean tech, we are looking at sustainability. Deep tech is huge focus for this year. Yeah, I think that's where most of our money will go.
And how much are you looking to deploy in the India market?
I would say around 20 to 30 CR ideally.
20 to 30 CR. And you also are not just eyeing, tier 2 and 3 beyond markets, right? You're also looking at global expansion. So what are the big ideas that you're seeing around the world that is actually catching your fancy or giving India a run for its money?
Well, when it comes to funding startups globally, I think we have a couple of considerations in mind. Sometimes we prefer companies where we believe that India could serve as a great market for these startups. So that's one consideration. Otherwise, I think some technologies that we see are not in India at all. And I think we could probably have a bite in those rounds, right? So I think some of the emerging tech, like I think semiconductor is one area where we definitely want to put money. I think we're also looking at, like, I think fashion tech, we're recycling or circular economy, actually we're looking at those as well. Yeah, I think broadly these are the areas.
And which are the countries that are looking exciting?
So we've already invested in US,
Right.
UAE, Singapore, UK. I think now we are looking at Saudi as well. We are looking at Australia. We are
Right.
looking at, and I mean, in US, there's so many new things happening every time. So I mean, US again is going to be a big target for us.
Right. And 2024, we saw a little bit of trouble when it came to, sort of funding, in the funding environment. There was a lot of dry powder, but it wasn't being deployed to very many startups. Do you see that changing for this year? What's the outlook? What is WeFounderCircle looking at for 2025?
So yeah, the famous, infamous funding winter.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're past that.
Yeah.
So the problem was that big rounds were not happening, right?
Correct.
So while we saw record-breaking IPOs, we didn't really see a lot of Series B, we didn't see a lot of Series C. Hopefully this year would be different.
Right.
I think a lot of startups have learned their lesson that, you have to have very solid milestones before you reach those big rounds.
Right.
Right? And you have to sort of learn to also go global, right?
Yes.
I think both of those things would happen this year, and I see more of Series B and Series C happening as opposed to last year.
Well, we continue